Glad to welcome you to yet another interesting edition of your news program tagged The World This Week. On today's edition, as always, we shall be serving you the latest local, national and international news. On the second segment, foreign news recaps, sports roundup, entertainment news, and the Big One Saturday special will climax our package for the day. On Saturday special this week, we will be bringing the frills and thrills of the inauguration of the new president of Ghana. I am Abeokuta. I'll be right back after this break. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. And those are the words of Abeokuta. Now, don't forget that you can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, on YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And for the latest news and reports, check us on this platform, X at Ogun State Television, on Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now to the details. President Bola Tinubu has described renowned historian and scholar Dr. Segun Oshoba as one of Nigeria's finest minds. In a statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, to celebrate the activist at 90, Tinubu commended the eminent historian, a staunch advocate of social justice and good governance, for contributing to Nigeria's constitutional development. Tinubu, however, recalled his membership in the committee that drafted the 1979 Constitution, which laid the foundation for the Second Republic, maintaining that Oshoba and Dr. Yusuf Usman produced a minority report recommending no immunity clauses for presidents and governors and a minimum age of 30 to be eligible to run for office. Tinubu thanked Dr. Oshoba for his intense patriotism in serving the nation and prayed to God Almighty to grant him many more years in good health, the statement added. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Senator John Azuta Mbata on his election as the president of Ohaize Indigo worldwide. Tinubu wished the newly elected Ohaize Indigo president success as he takes on the onerous yet noble and lofty task. The president's message was contained in a statement signed by his media head, Bayo Ononuga. President Tinubu also congratulated the Igbo Social Cultural Group on the successful leadership transition and enjoined the new leaders to uphold the principles of their predecessors. Ononuga noted that President recognizes the critical role of social cultural organization in nation building, hence its commitment to promoting dialogue among other ethnic nationalities. Also, the federal government has congratulated Lebanon President-elect Joseph Aoun. Aoun secured 99 votes from the 128-seat parliament to win the presidency, breaking a deadlock that has left the country without a head of state since October 2022. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abuja, in a statement said Nigeria is looking forward to further strengthening relations with Lebanon. Joseph Aoun's candidacy for the mainly ceremonial role, which is reserved for a Maronite Christian under a sectarian power-sharing system, was backed by several key political parties as well as the U.S., France, and Saudi Arabia. The Theater Commander Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fason Yama Major General Oluyinka Shoyele has reaffirmed the readiness of troops to confront the Lakurawa terrorist group along the Nigeria-Niger border. According to a statement by the spokesperson of operations, Fason Yemen Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, This declaration was made during an operational visit to the tactical headquarters of the DHQ Special Operations Brigade situated in Bale-Gudu local government area of Sokoto State. Major General Shoyele emphasized the necessity of commitment from the troops engaged in Operation Flush Lakurawa Out. He highlighted the imperative of maintaining Nigeria's territorial integrity, describing it as non-negotiable. Troops on operation across the country have killed 109 and arrested 81 criminals in the past week. The troops also arrested 6 oil thieves and rescued 43 kidnapped victims. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, announced this in a statement. General Buba said troops on operation in the Niger Delta area discovered and destroyed 10 illegal refining sites, 10 crude oil cooking ovens, 10 dugout pits, 12 boats, and 4 storage tanks. He said troops recovered 631,709 liters of stolen crude oil, 3,140 liters of illegally refined diesel, and 2,250 liters of petrol in the past week. According to the defense spokesman, troops recovered 21 assorted weapons and 124 assorted ammunition. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has proposed the sum of 126 billion naira for its 2025 budget. The chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, made the presentation while defending the 2024 budget implementation before the National Assembly. He pleaded with the National Assembly to approve the 2025 budget, which is nearly 3 times the size approved last year. Professor Mahmood Yakubu expressed concern over the high cost of conducting elections in Nigeria, describing it as exorbitant and burdensome. He highlighted that despite INEC being one of the largest employers in the country, it operated on a reduced budget of 40 billion naira last year, significantly lower than the 80 billion naira initially requested. Moving on, the National Assembly, through its Joint Committee on Industry, Trade and Investment, has criticized Nigeria's border closure policy, labeling it ineffective in curbing cross-border crimes such as banditry and smuggling. During the 2025 budget defense session with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, lawmakers expressed frustration over the ongoing security and economic challenges linked to the porous nature of the country's border with Niger and Chad, as it says Nigeria might be fooling herself. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Industry, Senator Francis Fadansi, argued that the current border closure policy is counterproductive. It suggested that it might be more beneficial to open the borders officially rather than maintain the illusion of a closure that fails to prevent smuggling and insecurity. Honorable Fatima Talba, representing Nangaro Poskum Federal Constituency in Yobe State, re-echoed similar sentiments, stating that in her experience, the borders appear open given the unchecked movement of people and criminals. And back home in Ogun State, the Ogun State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Town Planner Olatunji Odunlami, has charged workers in the ministry to rededicate themselves to duty and work harmoniously as a team towards effective service delivery in the new year. The Commissioner gave the charge during the end of the year get-together of the ministry held at Excellence Event Center, Okemoso, Abeokuta. Benga Adekoya's report is presented in this package.
Excellent Event Center Okemoso Abeokuta is the venue of the end of the year get-together and award program put together by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. In his welcome address, the permanent secretary in the ministry, Shakiruddin Salam, said having worked for 365 days calls for the need for celebration.
So this is a good happening during your time, and it's amazing to even see all of us, beyond the management level, beyond the top management level, beyond those that we interact with in the course of work at the headquarters. At least we have representation from all the zonal offices.
The commissioner in the ministry, Town Planner Olatunji Odulami, said the get-together, which was last held 10 years ago, will now be an annual event, saying the ministry under his watch has been able to transform the job of town planners in the state, just as he appreciates the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for his support.
Our work as town planners is very onerous, even dangerous. I want to thank God that throughout 2024, there have been no evil report concerning us. We have continued to march on in the vision that our governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, gave to us in that ministry. And so we just thought that having worked so hard throughout 2024, there's a need for us to sit down and let down our hairs, forget about the pressure of the work in the office.
There were goodwill messages from some of the important personalities who graced the event.
The coming together of all the officers and officials from various parts of Ogun State has created an atmosphere of increased bonding and further motivation, I believe, for the staff to deliver on its mandate in this coming year of 2025.
Awards of recognition in various categories were thereafter presented to some members of staff who have done wonderfully well in their various departments and agencies, with Best Department Award adding glamour to the event.
I'm very happy for this opportunity that was given to me, and I thank God for the opportunity that I see today.
The high point of the event was the special recognition of some retired members of staff of the ministry who have worked for 35 years and retired meritoriously.
On education, Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abeokuta Arigbabo, has commended a non-governmental organization, Global Support for Kids Initiative, for its program centered at reducing out-of-school children in the society. Professor Abeokuta Arigbabo made the commendation during a courtesy visit by the executive members of GSK initiative to his office in Abeokuta, saying its commitment and zeal to giving out to touch many lives without expecting anything in return was quite laudable. Arigbabo advised the NGO not to be deterred in its good work, but be focused and determined in creating a better and brighter future for the children who would in turn be the glory of the nation, assuring that government would continue to give necessary backing to every willing individuals and organizations.
I want to commend you for giving out and for also believing that it is only by doing this that we can actually touch humanity and change things. All these things we are doing, we are also doing it for ourselves. I think we are helping people, we are helping ourselves. But the more you remove all these street kids from the street, the better the society will live in.
In his remarks, the President and Executive Director of GSK Initiative, Mr. Opeyemi Olowokere, said the non-profit organization first to minimize the incessant increase in child abuse, give hope to children living in the street situation and youth at risk, appreciating the ministry for its unflinching support to ensure the organization achieved its objective. Moving on, the remains of Alhaja Fausiat Adeshola Oke, popularly known as Mado Jutini, have been buried. Janazah prayers and other Islamic rites were performed for the deceased, Iyalaje Gbagora, who passed away on Friday, 10th of January 2025. Margaret Okolola has the details.
Born on March 3rd, 1949, Alhaja Fausiat Adeshola Oke has bade the world bye at the age of 76 and converged on the premises of Ansaruddin Central Mosque, Eleweron, Abeokuta. Our family, associates, colleagues, and Muslim faithful to pay the deceased their last respect. Muslim prayer and other Islamic rites was performed for the deceased, Alhaja Fausiat Adeshola Oke, in the presence of all present, who came to sympathize with the family of the deceased. The preacher, Imam Said Okwebi, gave a brief sermon after the burial rites.
We should try as much as we can to serve Almighty Allah With that, Almighty Allah will build for us a home in the paradise. She served Almighty Allah when she was alive, and she tried as much as she could when she was alive to help people. She built people, and she tried as much as she can to accommodate family members. We should try as well to imbibe that kind of habit.
Members of the deceased family say it is an irreparable loss.
It's very, very good to everybody. I include myself. It's nice to me and my children.
That Madujutimi was more about whatever I do, I know that I will excel. And who will make that possible if not God? So it's like telling God that you will never put me to shame.
I learned a lot from my mom because my mom will never segregate. Whether you are her biological daughter or maybe you are just a visitor, she will take you as if you are her child.
She's everything to me. She's the one that made me where I am. Everything I've been, everything about my life is always my mom. My mom has been a great mother to me.
Popularly called Ogtv, a food enterprise with outlets in Ogun State and even beyond the shores of Nigeria, Alhaja Fausiat Adeshola Oke was described as a devout Muslim, hard-working and accommodating person. Died in her home on Friday 11th of January 2025. Margaret Okunlola, Ogtv News.
May our soul continue to rest in peace. We'll now go on a short commercial break, and when we return, the world this week continues.
What if upgrading your TV doesn't mean buying a new one? Unbelievable, right? But with the new Airtel Smart Router, you can now watch YouTube on any TV and also get unlimited data for 30 days to stream thrilling Nollywood movies, catch up on football highlights, and keep your kids engaged with edutainment all on YouTube. With the Airtel Smart Router, everyone gets what they love. Get the Smart Router plus unlimited data for 25,000 Naira. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get yours. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back. You're still watching The World This Week on Ogtv. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has officially launched a campaign to crack down on the number of weapons on the country's violence-racked streets. The plan, called Yes to Disarmament, Yes to Peace, will offer cash to those who anonymously leave weapons at designated drop-off locations, including churches. Gun owners will get 8,700 pesos for a revolver, 25,000 pesos for an AK-47 rifle, and 26,450 pesos for a machine gun. The firearms are then to be destroyed. The disarmament plan is part of the government's integral strategy for fighting crime. This week on Foreign News Recap, Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation. Also, rescue workers are searching for survivors after a major earthquake killed dozens of people and damaged more than 1,000 buildings. Sit back, relax as we bring to you details of their stories.